Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Lady Nyca, and with last night's episode of the Have and Have Nots. Now, I after my videos yesterday, I had somebody in the comment section that reminded me that I hadn't been doing my due diligence. And to be honest with you, I was kind of through with this because I love Tyler Perry. Y'all know that's the hometown hero and everything. But sometimes I get a little frustrated and I had gotten a little frustrated with it. But since I'm back doing my other content, I said, let me just honor the wish of the person whom was in my comments under my retro review last night. Another retro review will drop tomorrow. I'm doing them every other day until I catch up. So you'll get another retro review for those who come for that. But we got two more episodes, and I came back to finish this off because, like I said, I'm tired. It ain't making much sense. I'm just confused at this point. But let's get it. Now we're going to switch up how I do the reviews. Okay, on this one, instead of me going scene by scene, which would take more time. Uh, I'm going to go character by character, and I'm gonna start with Benjamin Young, the person sitting up on the screen in your face right there. Now, Bennett, I get that he is trying to protect his mom against Derek. However, if she had told you to leave it be, trust that and calm down. Now, watch Derek, but listen to your mother because she may be having some time taking, it may be a lot for her to intake that she is now the man she started liking actually is the man who years ago took her innocence in a violent way. So I'm sure she's trying to process that. I don't know why you want to grab hold, I don't know why he didn't just grab a hold of him and, do what he got to do and be done with that. I just didn't get last night. I didn't. I get it that I understand you trying to protect your mother, but at the same time, why are you going against her wishes? Benny is a hothead. I told y'all he a big old pretty mall, but ain't nobody up in there shopping. Look at him. Look at that big old pretty mall. Ain't not one shop in there, okay? Anyway, Derek had pulled up to Jim and Catherine's because, of course, he works there. Benny confronted him with a question: did you violate my mother? He told the man to get out of the truck, and Derek did. And he finally answered the question. Yes, he was the one that raped his mother, and he's trying to make it up to Hannah. Now, I was confused right then because how you make up a rape? Now I get he was on drugs out there bad and everything, and he did what he did to Hannah during those times, but it don't change the fact that you violated this man's mother. So Benny beat his ass. He took it, and Benny told him to get gone and don't return. Derek said, "But I work here." Benny said, "Not no more," and made him move around. Now that was a little extra to me, but I got it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to figure out when Benny started putting people off the job, but that ain't my business, honey. So afterwards, he go and knock on the door, and Hannah come to the door. He tell her that he done kill Derek, and he in the trunk. I said, what? He told her he was lying, but he did. He let her know I beat his ass and I sent him away. He wants to know why she wouldn't tell him that Derek had done what he did to her, but he had to find out through Veronica. Hannah told him to leave it alone. He tried to be persistent, and she said, "Well, okay. If you want to have a discussion about that, give Crier back his money, and then and only then we can have this conversation." Now, child, you know he ain't trying to do none of that. Hannah was over it and told him to go on. She not feeling it. She got enough on her plate trying to figure out how to handle this estate Catherine and just dropped in her lap. Just imagine what Hannah must be going through. You going from being head maid in charge to CEO over everything Catherine got. Child. And as she was getting Bennett up out of her face, this accounting guy showed up to kind of help her navigate through some of what's going on because she got a meeting later. Mr. Accountant Man came in. She invited him in. He immediately complimented the home and she said, thanks, but it's not hers. It's Catherine Crowder, the person who left her in charge. And that's the reason she called him over there to help her kind of figure it out some of this terminology and how she should move forward to protect this woman's best interests until she can get out of jail. Now I can see that he got an interest in Hannah, but I don't know if he legit or not. Time shall tell. I hope he ain't trying to, snake her or nothing like that, which we know that there's a plot going on building up to try to get Hannah while she in charge, take over Catherine's stuff. So I'm hoping he not a part of it and that he is one of the good guys. Now Hannah got a meeting later. She said that, she totally clueless. However, she has been writing down notes. She done Google some terminology. And also he's there to help her learn and be able to function in these meetings and going forward. He was telling her things and baby, she was taking notes like a good student, okay? Even fixed him some coffee. But Hannah really wants to learn. And I applaud her for that. I applaud her efforts for wanting to learn something different. I ain't mad at her. Now let's talk about Mitch family over there down to the Iron Bone child. I'm trying to decide, do I want to go with them first? Well, yeah, they didn't really have that big of a part. You got Vinny and Sandy sitting down at the Iron Bone, and Sandy asking Vinny what he planned to do with his girl because she messing around with someone else new. Now Sandy acted like he didn't know this. Vinny told him he done got soft. So he in turn turned that conversation back around on Vinny and said, well, you say I'm soft, but you must be soft as well because why is still alive down in the basement? And I said, you know what, Sandy, I don't know either. Y'all know I'm tired of why he's useless to me at this point. Well, Vinny got mad and told Sandy to move around, basically. He couldn't take it. Now let's go over to the president-elect situation, right? Landon is trying to secure this interview with a president for the president and Candace with this reporter. She's one that has helped in the past. So he's trying to set something up, but Oliver not feeling it. He won't Landon and Charles to let it go. He see Candace as a hoe, a blackmailer, and he can do, much better if he get with this woman Gretchen opposed to Candace. And Landon wanted to know why he pushing for Gretchen so much. He said Charles don't want Miss Privilege. He wants who he loves, and who he loves is Candace. So Oliver needed to let that go. But see, Oliver didn't want to let that go. He didn't know how to leave it alone. Charles is not a machine, he is a human, Landon said, and has a right to choose who he wants. Child, Oliver started going off about it, and unbeknownst to him, Charles then came in and overheard all he was saying about him. Charles said, please continue once Oliver became aware that he was there. Oliver then became on mute. He ain't have no bass in his voice. He was like a docile bitch, okay? Nothing he said was he saying in that moment. He said to him after stuttering, I was just saying that you can do better. And Charles said, yeah, I can, but if I hear you talking greasy again, you would be looking for new employment. I said, mistake number one, you should have fired him right then. Now, Oliver think Landon set him up and knew Charles was listening in. No, you just called. That was all it was. Later on, Charles thanked Landon you know, for understanding him and standing up for him and realizing that he deserves to be happy. Then he said he was going to go out for a walk with his kids, and Landon wanted him to use that as a photo op, but Charles not feeling it. Charles still having a hard time acclimating to the fact that if you are the president of the United States of America, you have no privacy at this point. Ain't no normalcy in that. So hopefully he'll get it. Now later on we see what seems to be a Secret Service agent, one of which that Landon seems to be cool with, he brought him some tea on Oliver. It was photos of the private airport of Oliver with old boy who also works for Jim. Remember, Jim hired him to kind of deal with Veronica? Well, he's a former armed forces specialist, and there is a connection between him and Oliver beyond the drugs, but he did mention the drugs. Say, Oliver has a coke habit and has had it since his college days, but Oliver's father tries hard to hide it. But Landon wants to know what is the other attraction. But for now, we're gonna put a paper clip on that, and I'm gonna leave it where it said he thanked old boy for the information, cause he gonna use it. But right now, he's not gonna try to go and find out any more information. I said you might want to go find out some more information. Now, child, let's go over to what do I want to do first. Let's let's go over to Veronica's house because Sam is out there, you know. He's the new pool guy, and remember his wife. I can't remember his name. What's his name? Lori or something like that. Lori is starting to feel like Veronica like her, admiring how Veronica lives and all of that. And her husband Sam had to remind her, remember what Derek said. She's not to be trusted and she don't like nobody. At that point, Veronica came out to get her, and I don't understand this girl because just because she give you a new wig and dress you up a little bit, girls, Veronica is already suspicious of y'all, okay? And trust and believe, while you talking about she like you, she will be trying to sleep with your man soon. As a matter of fact, next week. And I do believe Veronica is suspicious of them because I don't know if they aired on was it a preview or nothing or something, but Veronica says she's suspicious of them. They up to something, but she not quite certain what it is. So you ain't in the clear, honey. Anyway, that's gonna turn out bad. The next thing I want to talk about is Jeffrey and this boy right here. That is Kobe, Madison's good girlfriend from college. Him, Jeffrey, and Madison out for drinks on Madison's little break. We learned that Madison ain't slow when it come to men and that he was once a stripper, but he prefers to be called a go-go dancer. And he did it to pay for his way through school. Then, some kind of way, after Madison went back to work, Kobe mentions that he's aware of who Jeffrey's mom is, and he kept calling her bitches. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all know I will let loose and let have on Veronica. I have many of the seasons. But it was something unsettling about him. I didn't like him. And he is not the representation of the LGBT community. So Tyler, you might want to pull back on how this boy acts because he was doing way he was putting 20 on 10 for no reason. And I know that Jeffrey don't like his mama and whatnot, but how you sit there comfortably and allow this man to call your mama a bag of bitches and you don't say nothing? It's kind of like I can call her a bitch, but you can't type of situation, crazy as that may sound. I just didn't like the fact that he was putting 20 on 10 and he kept calling her so many bitches. He got to a point where he actually peer pressured Jeffrey into giving the address and him and what he called some of his bitches, which is some of his other gay friends, all converge over there at Veronica's house with the plan to skinny dip in her pool to show her that the gays are here to stay. That didn't make not now lick of sense to me. All you setting yourself up to do is possibly get shot or go to jail. At the end of the day, just because a group of naked gay men jump in her pool is not going to change her perspective on how she feels about gay people. Veronica is homophobic, and I think it's because she herself might have a little lesbo inside of her. I don't know, but I say this much: I didn't understand this. And I thought Jeffrey was very weak. Talking about I was drunk when we first made you let this man talk you into going over to your mama's house, him and his friends, and they all jump in her pool with no clothes on. Jeffrey was weak to me in this episode. I really didn't understand him. Anyway, they actually wind up going over there to Sam's pool, over to Veronica house. Sam, the pool guy, was there. He wasn't interested in nothing that was going on because that ain't his house. But he did go in there and give Veronica as requested. And she was in there reminiscing about David. We saw her reminiscing about David, the fire that she tried to burn him in, the car explosion, the blowing up, trying to have men bust in his house and shoot him and his son up. I mean, we went through the whole montage of their life, and I don't know what she was over there reminiscing about, but child, ooh, Veronica crazy, crazy. That's the kind of crazy you don't play with. He tells her that there's some naked men in her pool. She go out there, and Kobe say that they are here, they are queer, and they ain't going nowhere. They in this woman pool telling her that the gays ain't going nowhere. I was like, is you alright? That's why you saw her with that, because she was asked them to get out the pool. They wouldn't get out the pool, so she went back in the house to get her gun. And pretty much that's where the episode ended off at. I was confused. Y'all help me make sense of this review. Cause I didn't get it. I know this had to be a filler episode, and maybe I'm a little lost because I have missed a couple of episodes, but that didn't make sense. First of all, I'm not understanding why Jeffrey acts so strong in some areas and so weak in others. Why are you, as a grown man, allowing yourself to be peer pressured into going to your mother's house trying to make a statement when you know your mama don't play with a full deck and things can get real, real fast? I'm not understanding that. Anyway, that was it. That was all of last night, y'all. I don't know. Y'all get down in the pen and let me know what you thought about this episode of the Have and Have Nots, child. That was an hour of straight up bullshit. But we gonna see, okay? And Tyler, again, if you gonna get some gay boys down to the Have and Have Nots, that one right there with his chest open ain't it. That is not the representation of gay people. He was doing too much. I know that there are some flamboyant gays, but baby, he was doing too much to try to prove his point. And I still didn't. I don't like him no way, cause you knew him. How you gonna come in here calling Veronica a bitch? That's our job. That ain't your job. And the fact that Jeffrey, as her son, sat there and didn't even feel compelled to say a thing, I look at you crazy. Cause I know your mama done did a whole lot to you, and you got every right to call her a couple of names if that's what you wanted to do. But how you let him do it? Girl, let me get up out of here. Anyway, remember the depth of your struggle will determine the height of your success. And you do not have to be great to get started, but you got to get started somewhere to be great, okay? In the meantime, in between time, please remember on your way out, please remember to ring the doorbell. Get down in the pending section if you want to add something to the conversation. I will be down there to reply. If you haven't subscribed to this channel or my backup channel, Lady Nyca, all of that information is put down in the description box below the title of this video. So make your next move your best move. Please subscribe to both of the channels and tap your notification bell buttons. Set them to all so that each and every time I drop a pre-recorded video or go live from this channel or the backup channel, you'll get a notification and you can come in and join in the conversation. And thank you everybody who came out for the late night with Nyca last night. That was just something I felt like doing. Like I said, it was a lot going on in the streets, and I felt like I wanted to talk about something that was lighthearted and not so heavy and not anything tearing down another person. So I went live. It wasn't to interfere with anybody's viewers or nothing. That was simply for the people that felt like I did and they're fool with me. And if you was there, thank you for being there. We will do that again pretty soon. Thank you for your support. And I'm gonna see y'all probably tomorrow where I will have the retro review, another retro review for Dynasty up. I will have a political video coming up. And there's a possibility I'm still going to try to do a panel about some social injustice issues that we need to discuss. I'm not certain because right now it's so much going on. I'm not trying to be in the middle of none of that. I'm just doing me right now. And I thank you for understanding that and for coming over and supporting me. I don't expect high numbers. I'm just doing me right now. Sometimes you got to lose to win, and that's what I'm doing right now. Enjoy your day. Bye.